for still watching Stephen A. Smith.
Screaming A. I don't watch him though, man. I'll be honest. I don't watch him.
I mean, what else can I watch in the morning? I work from home.
Put on CBS Sports instead, bro.
No, those guys are boring, dude.
Man, they give you like good information.
I don't want analysis.
No.
I want asinine takes.
All right, we're live now.
What's going on? My name's Mike Jimenez. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from West San Antonio, West Side, and also West Bexar County. Again, Mike Jimenez, Joe Garcia producing today's show. Dude, I look low to the screen. Am I too low? I think
you're too low.
I gotta sit on like a phone book or something. If we could find a 1998 version of the Yellow Pages or something like that.
Oh God, they don't hand those out anymore, man.
Exactly. Remember they used to come out. They used to put them on the porch.
Yeah, they got smaller and smaller every year, and then they're just like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna do it no more."
Like the newspaper used to be big. And used to take it into the restroom. Yeah, and used to kind of like
it was like the Sunday paper. Yeah.
And now it's like a leaflet.
Yeah,
it's like the church pamphlet is bigger.
It's probably like $3. It used to be like a quarter or something, dude.
We are live only on YouTube right now because again we nixed Facebook, we nixed Twitter, so this is where you go to watch this podcast. And I appreciate those who are taking part, and you can be part of the show by not only watching us on YouTube, but we also have that private chat line that you can take part in. The best of the best.
Shout out to the people watching: Matt Lerma, Ace, Tim Gonzalez, Chris Gonzalez, David Atwater. Appreciate you guys.
The best of the best get read, right? So I think part of this is because the camera has changed. Well, and as
I need to adjust it a little
bit. Because people are saying that I look like I'm at the getting a haircut, and then I need to get the booster seat.
You're at Buddy Cuts?
Yeah,
the plane?
I feel weird about this. You know what? I'm going to change this.
Hold on. I'll do it.
Okay, because seriously, I am basically off the screen at this point. And I know that we want to get that in the background. I understand that. But there you go. So much better. Very, very nice. Chris Gonzalez saying Jimenez looks like the kid at the barber who needs a booster. Matt Lerma also reaching in saying booster seat Jimenez. Again, nothing has changed.
Buddy
just the angle of the camera. But then again, when it was up top, I looked thinner. So there's that.
It's like the selfie from the girls that are on Instagram or in the bathroom. It's always up high.
Well, because it eliminates the double chin. That's why it does that.
It eliminates the double chin. It eliminates the mustache.
Exactly.
You know, the hair that's on the double chin, the mole on the double chin.
So we go for about an hour and 15 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half doing this show. It's a fun show. We do sports, pop culture, nostalgia, and sometimes we try to figure out, hey, what are we going to discuss today? Because this is a daily show. We do this because, again, we like talking sports, but also because between the hours of 10 and 2 p.m., Sports Talk Radio goes dark in San Antonio when it comes to local sports.
Unless you want to listen to Jim Rome.
Who wants
to listen to that?
No one does.
Exactly.
And the ratings prove it. So we have podcasts like my own, me and Joe with the Alamo City Sportscast. You have In the Building with Rudy J and Mike Taylor that's doing very well.
Go give that a listen.
Give it a listen.
Yeah.
Subscribe to both. There's nothing wrong with it. We try not to date this as well, man. We try not to date this as well. And we're going worldwide because, again, our very, very consistent listener, viewer from the Netherlands, Garrett, saying hi. Says he was bummed that he missed Carolina yesterday. But you can always go back in time. Alamo City Sportscast on YouTube. All of the shows are archived on there. Just hit the live tab and you'll find it there.
We also need to put a logo on here for Spotify because we're on Spotify. We're on all major podcasting platforms. I do my best to try to upload the episodes right after we're done here. So every episode that we've recorded this week is already up on Spotify. It's up on the YouTube channel. You go back and watch them.
Very nice. Very nice. So when trying to decide what we're going to talk about today, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is going to be a kind of a ho-hum show. Not much to get into today, right? But then we got blessed by the ESPN gods.
Screaming A.
Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo going off on First Take this morning. About an hour ago, they went off on Spurs head coach Gregg Popovich. Pop caught strays, and I was amused by it all, okay? Because I brought up this question on Twitter as this was going on. I said, man, Pop is catching strays. Is any of this true? So get this. The whole conversation started around Joel Embiid. So Joel Embiid, obviously one of the best players in the NBA. And I don't know if we can show this, but I've got the video up on my screen.
Let's see.
Yesterday against Golden State, was injured chasing after a loose ball. Jonathan Kuminga landed right on top of his knee. and Embiid hobbled off the court, is going to have an MRI today. Joel Embiid is actually considered to be one of the top candidates for MVP this year, along with Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic. SGA is also part of the mix. But the thing is that there's a new rule this year that states that you need to play 65 games to qualify for any of the awards or qualify for any of the postseason honors like first team All-NBA, second team All-NBA. And Embiid has missed games. Well, Tyrese Halliburton, who's going to be an all-star this year, Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers point guard, star point guard, came out and said that he thinks that rule for 65 games is nonsense because it affects him too. He has gotten hurt in the past. And if he doesn't get first team All-NBA, if he doesn't get second team All-NBA, if he doesn't win awards or honors, he might not get the Supermax qualification. So it costs him money. So this was a conversation that Stephen A. and Mad Dog Russo were having about last night's game involving Joel Embiid and the injury and about Tyrese Halliburton. Well, Stephen A. called Tyrese Halliburton soft. And he says, not only are you soft, the entire NBA is soft because 65 games out of 82 should be a no-brainer. He said that it should be at least 70 games. And I was like, yes, it should be 70 games. So they were talking about how you go back in time and you see players like Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Larry Bird. They were always hurt, but they played 78, 80, 82 games. And they had a flight coach going from place to place to place. Whereas the NBA players today, they have chartered flights. They have all the right nutritionists. They have more modern medicine, more modern treatments. And they're bitching about playing 65 games to qualify for an award. So how does Pop catch strays in all this? He caught strays because they asked the question, when did all this nonsense start? When did the players get soft? And they said it happened because of Gregg Popovich and how he treated Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker.
The coddling.
Tim, Tony, and Manu.
Game management.
Load management, saying, hey, we're not going to play you every single game. We're not going to play you on the second game of back-to-backs. The same bullshit that he does right now with Victor Wembanyama. And I love the way that Stephen A. put it. Stephen A. said, it's not to prevent them from getting injured or getting more injured. It's to prevent them from getting injured in the first place. It's two different things, okay? Because Wemby could have played all of these games. Tim Duncan could have played those second back-to-back games. So could have Tony. So could have Manu. He goes on to say, remember that one time they had a nationally televised game against the Miami Heat and popped through the middle finger at the NBA by benching Tim, Tony, and Manu? Not even telling the league about this and how it got reported because Tim, Tony, and Manu were spotted at the Chick-fil-A at the airport. They weren't even at the arena. They were going home on Southwest Airlines.
I mean, send them back home on Southwest Airlines, bro. Were they flying first class or coach?
I don't think they do have a first class at Southwest. So
yeah, true.
But
it's the Airbus.
But either way, so a lot of Spurs fans were defending Gregg Popovich this morning on my Twitter feed because they were saying, hey, that's the reason why the Spurs won 2014. That's why they were able to go to the finals of 2013. You extend the careers of Tim, Tony, and Manu by playing them fewer games. But the problem is, as I mentioned, as I responded, both things can be true. You can say that, yeah, Pop did a fantastic job of extending the careers of Tim, Tony, and Manu, and we were the only team doing load management, and then it kept going with Kawhi Leonard. But you can also say that when all 30 teams in the NBA are doing it, because Pop put the template out there, that it is fair to say that Pop made the league worse because the players got soft and the teams got soft and the teams got scared. It's so funny how Spurs fans come to the defense of Pop, and I get it. I'm a Spurs fan. I celebrate that we made the finals in 2013. I celebrated that we won the finals in 2014, 10 years ago. Celebrate all of that. But did Pop, in fact, make this league softer because of it? Now these players are bitching about playing 65 games out of an 82 game season when I grew up in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, when players were playing with sprained ankles, when players were playing with jammed fingers and broken fingers and all of that stuff, and didn't have the modern medicine, didn't have the travel.
Yeah.
Stephen A's right. And both things can be true. Pop brought the 5th title to us because of load management. But it's also true that he provided the template that made the league worse. And why do we have to say that both can't be true? Why am I the only one that sees both sides of it? Why am I the one who gets accused of being, oh, you're not a true Spurs fan because, you just don't like Pop? No. XX Mellow 15 comes out to us on our YouTube stream and says, Kobe Bryant played hurt in the finals too. That's right. I mean, Paul Pierce came out in a wheelchair, but that was probably bullshit.
And also, XX Mellow 15 is joining us from Miami. Says that he loves the show.
Very nice, man. Much love to the Miami-Dade area. Very, very cool. William Van Beckham says, everyone copies what Pop does. That's very true. Because it worked. It worked. So Pop is both a genius and a mad genius when it comes to all this. He's a genius because it did work. He's a mad genius in the sense that it ruined the league because of it. And that's the problem. And, it's funny because I understand Tim Duncan load management when he was 37, 38, 39 years old, going out there, and he couldn't play back-to-back games. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't. But Pop did the load management before 2014 and 2013. He was doing it to a Tony Parker who was in his 20s, to a Manu Ginobili who was in his 20s, early 30s. They still had their legs. They did not have the history of getting hurt when it comes to ankles and stuff like that. At least Tim had, was it plantar fasciitis, and he had foot injuries throughout the years. I understand wanting to do that for Tim Duncan, but Tony, Manu, that was just plain up rest. Right now, the minutes restriction for Wemby was bullshit. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. Zach Collins came back from a worse injury and played back-to-back. And was out longer.
That's just Coach Pop being Coach Pop. And the thing is, people spend their hard-earned money to go see Wemby play, right?
Right.
Whether it's here in San Antonio in front of the home crowd or on the road. So if you're spending an X amount of dollars and you're like, man, I got to get good seats for this game because I want to see Wemby play. And all of a sudden, Coach Pop's like, no, he's not going to play. Load management. We're going to sit him out. It's a night of a back-to-back. The kid is young, man. Let him play. It's detrimental, I think, what they're doing, because it's not just Coach Pop. He's the one that started the trend, but it continues. And the league's trying to go ahead and put in rules in place to go ahead and nullify that. But at the end of the day, they need to go ahead and give harsher punishments out if this is going to stop, because you want to go ahead and you want to have that star player have longevity in the league. But at the same time, they're getting paid to play, not to sit on the bench.
Tyrese Halliburton has played 35 games this year. And I love your point. I 100% agree that we pay a lot of money to watch these guys. We
Plane tickets, everything,
Joel Embiid went and sat out the game earlier this week against the Denver Nuggets. He has not played in Denver 4 years in a row.
Jeez, man.
And we would love to have that matchup of Jokic against Embiid in Denver, but he only plays against Jokic in Philadelphia.
Why? That's dumb.
It is. And you look at the standings right now. The Pacers are 27-21. They have played 48 games, right? 48 games. Tyrese Halliburton, who's going to be an all-star this year, averaging 23 points, 12.5 assists per game. He leads the league in assists per game, also gets 4 rebounds. This is a stud player. Has already missed 13 games. So you do the math, 82, 65, you can only miss 17. He's missed 13. He misses 5 more games because of an injury or because of an illness or because of rest.
Out.
He's out of first-team All-NBA. He can lead the league in assists per game. But you know what? Tough shit. In baseball, you cannot win the batting title unless you have, I think, 500 at-bats. Right?
That's a lot.
They don't care. That's a rule in baseball.
Go out there with one leg, hit that damn ball.
Hit the ball. There's a minimum amount of plate appearances to win, and it may or may not be 500, but I think that's what the number is.
Yeah.
There's a minimum number of plate appearances, and you think about it, there's 162 games, right? Let's say that you want 3 plate appearances a game. So basically, you can miss a third of the season or a quarter of the season and still get 500 at bats. I mean, walks don't necessarily count, so maybe it's 20% of the games you can still qualify. But Tyrese Halliburton, you're 5 games away, baby. You can lead the league in assists, not get a first team or second team All NBA, make an All-Star team, but not qualify for the Supermax because of that.
Yeah.
Ace reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says he totally agrees with you, Joe.
Yeah, they get paid to play, man, not to sit on the bench, not to have the coach take them out for load management.
And the thing is how do you really enforce it other than have these rules out there? Because these rules affect the pocketbook, the paychecks of the players. That's why they were put in place, and that's why the players are bitching. And I don't think these players realize how easy they have it.
Yeah, whether they like it or not, Mike, at the end of the day, they're employees of the NBA. If you decided, oh, we're not going to work today, but we're still going to get paid to just sit down and watch everybody else work, what kind of shit is that?
Well, and that's the problem that I think people have when it comes to thinking about it. I think they think that the Spurs are a business.
No,
it's not. It's a franchise. They are a franchise of the NBA.
Yeah, okay. Basically, they work for the NBA.
Yeah, if I go and I buy a Subway sandwich shop, I cannot suddenly start serving lasagna because I want to. Because I have to run my Subway as a franchise of Papa Subway.
You're basically you're a corporate man at that point. You own the business,
right?
But you still have rules that you got to follow.
Exactly, and that's the thing about the Spurs. The Spurs can't do all the shit that they want to do. All the players can't do all the shit that they want to do. They all have bosses.
Yeah,
Peter Holt has a boss.
See, that's when the league went soft. The league went soft entirely, and it wasn't just because Coach Pop decided to go ahead and enforce load management and rest players and none of that, and other coaches and other teams followed suit. The league got soft when they started making it so much. They let's say they cradled or too much to the liking of the players. The players,
Right.
Let's keep the players happy. Let's keep the players happy. Right now, you're letting the players dictate what's going on in the league and how. Oh, let's make them happy. We want them to play. We want them to be happy and be out on the court. Man, F all that.
Mm-hmm.
They're employees. They get paid to play. Get your ass out there and go work,
Exactly. And that's what David Outwater is saying on our YouTube stream, saying that the players should not get paid if they don't play. Yahoo Sports has a column that I'm looking at right now, an article by Jake Bauer that says Tyrese Halliburton is 4 games away from losing $40 million to what Halliburton calls a stupid rule. Again, stupid to who?
Those are the rules, man.
Those are now the rules. You have an employer. Part of all this, though, is back in the day, and this started with Jordan, so we go back to the 80s, right? Right now, we're in a world where the players have a lot of power when it comes to who runs the team. I think there's certain players that deserve the right to that, and they reserve it. Case in point, the Milwaukee Bucks got rid of their head coach in order to get Doc Rivers. They had the second best record in the East, and I know defensively they weren't that good. But how often do you see a team that is a 2 seed get rid of their coach halfway through the season?
Doesn't really happen, man.
Do you think that Giannis was behind it?
Oh, 100%.
It had to have been behind it.
And it's not just him. He's probably the voice of the team, the representative of the locker room and for the players, But it was a team effort. The team just didn't like the coach. And at the end of the day, it was the team who voted him out. And they said, Giannis, you go out there and tell the man that we don't want him.
We've seen LeBron James do the same thing. LeBron James, whether it be Mike Brown or whoever he had out there, Ty Lue, all those guys, whoever LeBron James wants to play for becomes the coach.
Yeah.
Whoever he wants to get in free agency, he's a de facto GM. My dad and I have that debate all the time. My dad's right. He is a GM of the Lakers in many, many, many ways. Mando Cavasso is saying it's today's wussification of the American culture, and that I do believe. Drew Show reaches out to us, says Halliburton is the player rep for his players, for the players union, for his team. He voted for the current rules. Well, it sounds good on paper, Drew, until it starts creeping up on you. I think that's it.
And look at Matt
Lerma says they agreed to these new rules in the collective bargaining agreement. That was the time to complain, not now.
Exactly.
Well, the collective bargaining agreement, I mean, Halliburton is worried about the $40 million he may lose. The collective bargaining agreement is based on the $240 that would have been guaranteed to him.
Yeah.
So it's two different things. Collective bargaining is all things in general. It's not a up or down on each individual rule. The collective bargaining agreement is basically 50 sets of rules being in place at once.
Yeah.
You would happen to have a tissue, would you?
Yeah.
My goodness, man.
You dying over here?
I am dying of allergies over here. Give me 1 second over here. I'll do this mid-show. Thank you, man. But again, Tyrese Halliburton pissed off. Halliburton could have been a Spur. Spurs chose Devin Vassell instead, but that is old news. Hey, speaking of
old news,
GMs and old news, Jerry Jones making the rounds yesterday.
Oh God, man, Jerry, stop.
Jerry Jones saying that the Cowboys this offseason are going to be all in this year.
How the hell is that going to happen? They don't got no money, Mike. You don't got no money, Jerry.
Do you think this is the year that Cowboy fans just tune out Jerry Jones? Because I noticed that even on ESPN this morning, when Jerry speaks, he's front page, right?
Yeah.
When Jerry speaks, he is the first thing that they talk about. He's the lead of the show, right?
Yeah.
He was the end of the hour. It was an afterthought. I honestly believe that the media, don't get me wrong, the Cowboys will still be the king of media, but I don't think it's going to be as big as years past. I think they're done.
Look at Matt Lerma. Were they not all in before? That's what I'm saying. Like, Jerry, you're $15 million over the cap, right? You're paying, you're having to pay for that. And now we're all in. Bro, the time to be all in was years ago when you should have let go of one Ezekiel Elliott. You should have let go Dak and gone after a real quarterback. You should have done a lot of things. There's been a lot of missteps by Jerry Jones. At the end of the day, Jerry, if you want to be all in, go sit your ass over there in the skybox and just wave to the cameras, wave to the people.
No, man.
Don't be involved in the front office.
That's
stuff,
ageism.
Man.
That's ageism.
Like, I'm saying
81-year-old GM should be fine, according to everybody who says that.
No,
should be
Jerry.
coached.
No, he's the one Jerry Jones has no one else to blame for all this mess but himself. I can't believe what's going on out there on the field. We lost another game. Well, you know what? Stop giving soft players big contracts. How about that, Jerry?
And they're stuck in having Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
They're stuck. They need to have Dak Prescott out there simply because, A, how much better are they going to get getting somebody else? B, it's such a cap hit if they get rid of him.
Yeah.
$59 million this year. They're going to extend him. And Dak Prescott cannot win the big game. He's not that guy.
You know how Jerry Jones is going to help the Cowboys?
How's that? Dying?
He's going to freaking die, dude. And hopefully, maybe his son might want to run the team a little differently,
Right.
That's the only thing we can hope for. We never know. Maybe things will get worse and Jerry was actually the better of the two. I'm hoping not.
Dak Prescott's final year of the contract, according to NFL.com, has a $59.455 million salary cap hit. They go on to say that the big free agents that the Cowboys need to somehow keep or make decisions about include Tony Pollard, tackle Tyron Smith, cornerback Stephon Gilmore, and then what are they going to do about CeeDee Lamb because he is due for an extension as well.
Man, you think
Micah Parsons is too.
CeeDee Lamb wants to stick around if Jerry's still going to be doing Jerry shit? CeeDee Lamb wants to win now, and he's still, he's very young.
What happened in that playoff game? CeeDee Lamb, for an 18-week season, 17 games, was locked in, was motivated, had the eye of the tiger, all those bullshit remarks that people make, right? He had that in him. He was a deer in headlights in the playoff game, and it started from the first possession of the game. What happened? Why was he spooked?
I don't know if he was spooked. Maybe something else happened behind the scenes that we're not aware of. maybe Mike McCarthy said, and maybe practice or something, hey, this is going to be the game plan for this coming week. And maybe that just kind of threw everything off. Maybe they're used to a routine. Hey, we're going to keep on doing this. We're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. We've had great success. You try to get away from that, and it plays with somebody's head.
Yeah.
Like you're wondering all week, like, what the F is going on? This is the game plan, really? This is what we're going to do? And it messes with you, man. Maybe that's what happened.
They abandoned the run really fast. Mario Cavazos says the top NFL free agents were posted earlier this week on social media. 47. Number 47 is Tony Pollard. Ha, ha, ha. Ace comes out and says, I do not understand the Dallas infatuation with Dak. It's so perplexing.
Man, Dak, you got to ask yourself, what does Dak have on Jerry, bro?
Well, I mean, look, Dak is a decent quarterback.
He's a backup, bro.
No, he's not.
He's a backup, man.
He is not. He is a good quarterback. He's just not a great quarterback.
He can't win in the biggest moments.
That's true.
That's how he's going to be gauged, and that's how any quarterback in the NFL is going to be judged by.
So part of it is talent versus what you do. We talk about this when it comes to like the GOAT versus the best player of all time at quarterback.
The clutch gene.
The GOAT is Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But the best player at that position of all time is Patrick Mahomes. And it ain't even close. Patrick Mahomes' skill set is superior to Tom Brady. But Tom Brady won the games that were in front of him, led the teams to Super Bowls, and they won. And he has 7 rings.
Yeah.
But skill set, Tom Brady never had the skill set that Patrick Mahomes does. So what does that have to do with the Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott has a better skill set than a lot of quarterbacks. The question is he greater than those quarterbacks? And the answer is no.
He's not,
because when it matters, he doesn't come through. Weeks 1 through 17, 1 through 18, he's a top 10 quarterback. But when it comes to playoff time, I mean, look who we had in the playoffs this year. NFC Championship game. Jared Goff going to his second NFC Championship game and almost went to the Super Bowl. You have Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, second year in the NFL, making it to the Super Bowl. I don't care what weapons he has. He still made it. Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl.
Who are the only 2 quarterbacks to have beaten Patrick Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Tom Brady and Joey Burrow.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's a short list, man.
Those are great players right there, man. But, it's funny when you take a look at the Cowboys because this is year 29.
Yeah.
This is year 29. The anniversary was 28 years ago, a couple of days ago, of their last Super Bowl win. We're now year 29. When it gets to 30, I'm not saying that if it gets to 30, when it gets to 30, we need to tune them out. I've said this for a long time. This is not a hot take. That America's team title, you get to 30 years, you got to rip that shit off and give that title to somebody else.
They're America's team.
America's not for losers, dude. Americans come through in the clutch.
Hey, you might as well just give that to Mahomes, bro, and the Chiefs, dude.
Give it to the Chiefs. Give it to the Patriots. I mean, hell, they're called the Patriots.
Well, not anymore, but,
I mean, honestly, America's team really should be the Packers.
Hey.
It really should be the Packers. Small town team. It is owned by the people.
Oh, look at William.
Personal opinion.
Van Beckham says, don't forget, we also have, so is Rodgers. Rodgers is a very good player. Aaron Rodgers is what he's referring to.
XX Mello 15 says, even Nick Foles has more playoff wins than Dak Prescott.
Hey, Nick Foles helped the Eagles win a Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jared Goff has more playoff wins than Dak Prescott and Tony Romo combined.
You know who's going to have more playoff wins than Dak Prescott sooner? Probably CJ Stroud, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid, he's a rookie. He already has 1 playoff win. He gets another one. He's going to match Dak Prescott, and I see a bright future in store for CJ Stroud.
How about this? As a stat? In the playoffs, TJ Yates, Matt Schaub, Brock Osweiler, Deshaun Watson, and Davis Mills and CJ Stroud have more wins than Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. We're talking about TJ Yates.
Yeah.
We're talking about Matt Schaub.
You know what Jerry should do, man? Just go and hire Jimmy Johnson to recoach the team, dude. Fuck it.
Dude, why didn't Jimmy get back out there into the coaching ranks? I don't get that.
Maybe
He
he
got
just
let he
got
got let
sour, dude.
he got let go, and he still looks young.
He looks. Hey, man, the hair is always
It's
on
on
point.
point.
That you could go through a hurricane and that shit ain't gonna move, bro. But he still has a great football mind, should I say football
Yeah.
mind. He's a great analyst. He's entertaining. Every time they go to him, he's full of energy. He's fun to watch. He's fun to hear him speak. He could still coach, I think, if somebody gave him a shot. But I just don't think he has the want to anymore.
I got to meet Jimmy Johnson last year at Super Bowl Radio Row in Phoenix. And I'll tell you what, man, he is a very, very good mind, man. And when you talk to him, you can tell there's certain things that he wants to say. He just won't say it. And he holds back a little bit, man. He holds back, but I do respect the guy. I'm glad that he's part of the Ring of Honor, by the way. Hey, the NFL mock drafts are out. You are a Cowboy fan. If the Cowboys were out there drafting right now in the first round, who would you want them to go after? What kind of player?
Go after a fucking quarterback, bro. You got to get rid of Dak, man.
But where they are, they're not going to be any good quarterbacks available at 20-something.
Hey, man, you never know. You probably get a diamond in the rough or something, or you go with the backup that you have now. But you have to be looking towards the future. Dak, he's probably not going to be that guy, man. You got to start trying to move away from him.
So right now, the CBS Sports released a mock draft just this morning. They have number 1, Caleb Williams, the USC quarterback, going to the Chicago Bears. Drake May, the quarterback from North Carolina, going to the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from LSU, going to the Patriots. Marvin Harrison Jr., son of Marvin Harrison, stud wide receiver as well, out of Ohio State, going to Arizona. Going through the list here, Malik Neighbors, LSU wide receiver, going number 7 according to CBS Sports. My Saints, this would be a dream come true for me. Getting Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, at number 14.
Wow.
That would be a dream. As for the Dallas Cowboys, they have the Cowboys drafting at number 24, getting a quarterback named Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. Texans at 23, taking Chop Robinson, a edge rusher from Penn State.
You know what, Jerry? If it's all in, do whatever you got to do to get Caleb Williams. Fuck it, dude. Trade the team away, man. Do what you got to do. Give up future picks, whatever you got to do,
picks, man. It's like 4 or 5 picks, dude, to get up there.
You got to do something, Jerry. Like, if you're all in, if you want to see this team perform worth a damn in the playoffs, do something now. Jerry probably won't be around in 4 years, man. Let's be honest.
Very true. Very true. The quarterback that's actually dropping right now in the mock drafts right now that the Cowboys could potentially move up to get if they were inclined to get a first-round draft pick is Bo Penix out of Washington. Led the Huskies to the national championship game. Mario Cavazos reaches out to us and says the Cowboys' future quarterback is Trey Lance. They're not drafting a QB. Dak is going to get injured again, and Trey will Wally Pip him.
Hey, Trey Lance, I'm a fan of Trey Lance. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Brock Purdy. Doesn't go out there and do a lot of things that are flashy, but the brother knows how to win games. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
But the brother has not played a lot of games, though.
Hey,
in his lifetime, college or pro. I mean, he's
got to give him a chance.
He was drafted up top for a reason, man.
Give him a chance.
He was picked really early.
Breaking news here. I just got this off of Twitter, and they released just yesterday. I guess the Spurs injury report, and this is funny to me. They have players that are going to be out, and of course it's going to be Charles Bassey. He's out with an Achilles.
Yeah,
out for the season. City Sissoko going to be out. G League on assignment. And then the funny thing that I'm looking at here is they got Dominic Barlow, and this is the first for me. Questionable. The brothers over playing in the G League. How can you be questionable for a G League game? And then, of course, they're going to have questionable Zach Collins, questionable Keldon Johnson. And this is part of the load management that Coach Pop likes to enforce here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever, dude. In other words, he's saying, we're going to try to not win this one tonight. So if you all got something better to do than watch that game out on TV tonight, maybe you should do that if you're a Spurs fan, because I don't think they're going to wind up winning this one. Let's see who else becomes questionable at tip-off.
So Chris Gonzalez is asking the question because I combined two names, Michael Penix or Bo Nix from Oregon. Both of them are supposedly dropping when it comes to draft stock.
Yeah.
So depends on who you trust when it comes to your mock drafts when it comes to it. But I'm glad that you mentioned the Spurs, and I'm glad that you mentioned the injury report, because it's always something new. You know,
Always, dude.
it's always something new. It's like a carousel of injuries that are bullshit.
Questionable injuries.
But
what is that? Patella tendonitis. That's my favorite one.
But this is a good game tonight, man. I might be interested in going to this game. Orlando Magic coming into town tonight. Paulo Banchero averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's going to be an all-star this year in his second year in the league. Again, was rookie of the year last year. Wemby coming in, averaging 20.6, 10 rebounds, 3 assists per game, 3 blocks per game. Spurs have 3 home games in 4 nights, and then they're gone for almost a month because of the rodeo road trip and because of the All-Star break as well.
I'll be at the game on Saturday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Who they got Saturday?
Let me see. I'm going to look at
I
their
have
schedule.
that right here.
Cavaliers.
That's a good game.
I'll be at the game on Saturday, checking that one out. And then I don't wind up having tickets to go see another game until they come back from the rodeo road trip.
Orlando Magic favored by 5.5. I forgot to take Claritin today.
Oh, I got my Zyrtec right here.
So
you want to hit?
Yeah, I might, man.
You want me to crunch it up so you can snort it? Or
Snort
you
it
just
up.
Take it straight.
Can you dissolve it and inject it into my veins?
Oh god,
dude, these allergies are killing me today.
Yeah, man.
Is it affecting my voice or is it just me?
Nah, you're okay for now. But if you start dipping down a little bit, might have to do some day drinking tomorrow, man. I'll have to bring you out the little glass and get you something to drink.
Dude, I refereed 2 basketball games yesterday.
Yeah.
And my goodness, man, it was one of those games where every single call someone bitched about. Every single call. And at the end of the game, dude, you would not believe this. I had the administrator of the school come up to me asking me if I wanted to have a police escort to my car. And I said, why? And she goes, well, because of how crazy the stands are. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean people are going crazy in the stands? It was just a regular high school game is what it is. But man, if you go to these games, understand that high school basketball is different than the NBA. It's a lot different than the NBA. Again, Spurs back in action tonight, taking on the Orlando Magic. Magic are 24-23. If you want to look for some upsides as to the Spurs winning this game, well, the Magic are only 9-16 on the road, so they're a better team at home than they are on the road. That comes with being a young team. That comes with being a young team. If you take a look at the standings right now, the Spurs right now are 10-37, worst record in the Western Conference right now, 3rd worst record in the NBA. That pick from the Toronto Raptors, looking dicey, man. Looking dicey. As of right now, it's top 6 protected, and Toronto has the 6th worst record in the NBA. So, Joe, you go to the Spurs game. Are you going to feel bad going and sitting at your old seats? Or are you going to miss the 5th row action?
No, man. I like my seats. I mean, I don't go in with everybody else. You know, we get season ticket holders. We get to go into the VIP entrance, you know, so we don't have to stand in line with the other people.
That's right.
We don't stand in line with the peasants, man. Remember what we're saying? We're over there courtside and we're indulging in the free food and everything. Let them eat cake, Mike.
Yeah. Drew Show with the $10 super chat right now. We'll take it.
You know what, man? He's going to give us a $10 tip. I got to do something. If you're going to go do that for us, man, least we can do is have some graphics come out. $10 tip.
Nice. Again, you can always give us a tip on the top right. There's a coffee icon.
Yeah.
And it keeps the show going, helps pay for our equipment. Drew Show says rodeo road trip nonsense. He's sick of it, sick of Pop, sick of Nepo Holt. Please, Michael Dell, buy this team and save us from this nonsense. I'll move to Vegas when you move the team there.
Oh, God. Oh, look at that. Tim Gonzalez says he's made at the game on Friday night.
Yeah. You know, the rodeo road trip is going to say a lot about the Spurs. I mean, that historically is when the Spurs kind of band together and the players get to know each other better. And it's being away from home, being away from family. Back in the day, the rodeo road trip meant something. The last couple of seasons have been an absolute disaster when it comes to it. Let's give some love real fast. Let's play the commercial for MCS General Contracting because they've been Sponsoring us from day one, Chris Leha, our guy out there who's pouring that concrete.
Diamond Heart.
Diamond Heart. Let's hear what they got.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. I think that was actual footage of Chris Leha.
That is.
With the trowel.
Also show some love from Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Jeff Garcia, you can follow him at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Also providing your daily content when it comes to the Spurs. Locked On Spurs. I listen on Spotify. I listen on YouTube as well. Oftentimes a guest. Joe is oftentimes a guest. Take a look at his feed. About half an hour ago, he posted a story as part of his duties at kens5.com, saying that Spurs Victor Wembanyama, Mayor Ron Nuremberg, on hand at the International School of Americas for an event there earlier today. Oddly enough, International School of Americas, I believe, is at Lee High School, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is.
I used to substitute teach there many years ago. Again, lots of local content when it comes to the Spurs. He also talked about the fact, we can get into this right now. There's a Las Vegas odds maker that says that the Spurs have a very good chance of landing LeBron James.
Oh God, dude. I don't even know about this. I think it has all the makings of clickbait to me.
Well, I mean, Bet Online takes the bets.
Yeah.
They take the bets and they say that the Spurs are 3-1 favorites, not just possible, but 3-1 favorites to land LeBron James if he does not stay with the Lakers. Other teams that are listed there are the Cavs at 4-1, going back home to Cleveland. Chicago Bulls at 5-1, Dallas Mavericks at 6-1, the Knicks at 6-1. But what would it take? What would entice him to come here is having Bronny James on the team. Bronny James playing for USC. Here's the thing. There's not one mock draft that has Bronny James as first-round talent. So why would the Spurs draft him in the first round?
They want to have LeBron come play with the team.
Dude, I'd be down with it.
I mean, it'd be probably for one season, but hey,
it's a rental.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even LeBron James at what, he's like 41, something like that, 42. You know, he's getting up there in age. You know, but even as old as he is, he instantly makes your team better.
Now, Bronny James has had some difficulty this year because he had the health scare.
Yeah, heart attack
earlier this year. On top of that, when you take a look at his draft projections, right now he's projected to be anywhere between end of the lottery to end of the second round. It's like beauty is the eye of the beholder when it comes to him. But most of the mock drafts that I see, I don't even see his name listed. But Bronny James, I don't doubt will be an NBA player at some point, but maybe he should stay in college one more season, get more reps underneath him. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to stay in college and learn a lot more, like hone your craft, you know? I mean, the kids that come out of college with 4 years of experience, they're going to perform better at the NBA level. You know, they have all the tools that they need for that. The ones that go in there for 1 year, I'm going to go to the, NBA. That doesn't always bode well for them, you know? And you also want to have a backup. What if your career is cut short because of injury? You want to have a degree in something. You got to have a backup, man.
Drew Show reaches out and says, land LeBron. All you have to do is blow a first-round draft pick for his kid. LeBron ain't going to get you, ain't going to go if you don't draft him in the first round. His heart is bad medically. I mean, it's true.
We'll see.
I mean, Bronny James is a different player. I think a lot of people think that Bronny James is going to come out and be like the next LeBron. Their body types are completely different unless he has a growth spurt or a girth spurt, if you will, because he's built more like a combo guard as opposed to what LeBron James is, which is a Mack truck.
Hey, have you seen that new reality show with Shaq, by the way?
No, what's going on?
It's pretty cool because they show Shaq and he's trying to coach his son, Junior, you know, because he wants to get into the NBA. and he's in high school right now, so he's trying to get scouts and all that to look at him, and it shows what Shaq is doing behind the scenes, and he's really putting his son through the paces,
Yeah.
and he's like, I still got it, and he's trying to shoot a 3-pointer, clank, 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 and they're all laughing at him. But he is trying to help his son break on through. But I mean, the son is not anywhere near the imposing figure that Shaq is. He's his own player, and it's cool to see Shaq trying to impart some knowledge, to trying to help the kid break on through the NBA. And I like that the fact that Shaq is showing him that hard work ethic. You can't use my name to get in. You have to show them what you can do on your own.
Tim Gonzalez just reaches out to us on YouTube, says LeBron James will be doing HEB commercials.
Hey, I'm down with that. Hey, I still want that Wemby full-size cutout. We're going to have to go to that HEB, man, and just get it and run.
Hey, show my screen real fast. I found this to be funny. I don't know if this is entertainment news or if it's sports news, but the New Heights podcast, which is the top sports podcast in all of the United States, it's with Travis Kelce, boyfriend of Taylor Swift, and Jason Kelce. The headline shows Travis Kelce saying, "Hey, Justin Tucker, don't be a fucking dick." Okay, did you see what happened?
I didn't see what happened.
Okay, so here's the video of it right here. Justin Tucker is warming up before the game.
Oh, I saw that.
And Kelce and Mahomes threw his stuff out of the way, right? And a lot of people were siding with Justin Tucker when it comes to this, saying, "Oh, he's just a kicker. He was just doing his thing and all that stuff." No. What goes on with Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker is known as being a dick. And he is somebody who will go between cheerleaders to kick, bands that are performing and all that stuff. He will just do his thing without respecting people around him. And at this point in the game, teams are told to stay on their side of the field.
Exactly. I was going to say, look at what side of the field he's on.
And Justin Tucker was saying, "Oh, I was just going to be practicing kicks."
No.
But if you look at where he's kicking, he's either practicing one of two things: a 10-yard field goal or a 110-yard field goal, neither of which exist. So why is the holder out at the 2-yard line?
Be a dick.
Right. Why is he warming up right next to where Mahomes is trying to do his warm-up passes?
He knows what he's doing.
To be a dick.
Yeah.
So it was funny having all these people reach out and go, "Oh my God, he's just a kicker. Leave him alone." But I'm glad to see, and it's on TMZ right now, and I'm sure it's on the New Heights podcast. It says Travis Kelce teed off on Justin Tucker over the pregame altercation at the AFC Championship game, calling the Ravens kicker a fucking dick and purposely getting in Patrick Mahomes' way during warmups.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, dude. That's what he gets, dude. Call his ass out.
That's so funny. That's so funny. And he's a kicker. But you know what? If you go back in time, just Google Justin Tucker pregame. He does this shit all the time. Like this motherfucker is gonna get in somebody's head. He's the kicker. I don't care if he's the greatest kicker of all time. You're just the kicker.
Exactly.
No one cares about you, Justin Tucker.
If you stand in their way, you're gonna get run over, dude.
Very, very funny.
Oh, look at here. We have list of sophomores. This is on Spurs Muse, by the way, on Twitter.
Yeah.
List of sophomores to have multiple games of 30 points and 8 rebounds this season. Guess who's on the list?
Who is it?
Jeremy Sohan and Paolo Banchero.
Okay, well, first of all, did you see the NBA announcement yesterday?
Which one?
The NBA announced yesterday the sophomore team.
Yes.
The sophomore team was announced yesterday, going to be taking part in the All-Star game. So you have Wemby representing the freshman team,
the rookie and the sophomores.
Yeah. So you have Wemby, you have Chet, you've got the rookies from this year going up against the sophomore All-Stars, if you will. They named 10 players. Jeremy Sohan left off the list. What are your thoughts?
Not surprising.
I am very, very surprised.
Not surprising.
I am very surprised. Because although I have my issues with him, fact of the matter is that Sohan is a top 10 player from 2 years ago. He is.
You gave him a lot of shit, though, man.
I do give him a lot of shit, but man, they snubbed the living crap out of him. I'm trying to find my my post over here. I don't do Twitter on my I don't I okay, so I'll give you a case in point right here. Jeremy Sohan averages 11.5 points per game, right?
Okay.
This is according to Spurs Muse, which is true.
Yeah.
Averages 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 44% shooting, 37% from 3. The NBA chose Dyson Daniels over Sohan, who averages only 5 points per game, who averages only 3.7 rebounds, only averages 2 assists, and shoots 42% from the field. Sohan is better than Daniels in every respect and has played more games because Daniels been injured. And somehow Dyson Daniels made the sophomore stars roster over Jeremy Sohan. That is an issue. That is a problem.
Well,
Why diss him like that?
Maybe they should do better. Maybe they should play to win instead of playing to tank.
Now, well, I mean, all the other members of the team of this NBA sophomore rising stars, Paulo Banchero, obvious, right? Because he's an all-star. Maybe if Banchero makes the all-star team, the reserves are being named tonight. If Paulo's made as a reserve, chances are he won't play in this. So maybe they'll promote somebody up, right? But Dyson Daniels of the Pelicans, Jalen Duren, okay, Jaden Ivey, I get it. Walker Kessler, I get it. Ben Mathurin, I get it. Keegan Murray, I get it. Shaden Sharp, I get it. Jabari Smith, I get it. J-Dub from the Oklahoma City Thunder, I get. That should have been in that Dyson Daniels spot right there. That should have been Jeremy Sohan. That should have been.
Oh, we got another super chat here from the Drew Show. Can read it right now.
Drew Show says the Heat has stars that draft third and fourth year college players like a Mexican American rookie, Jamie Jacques Jr. Jaime. Sorry, man, my allergies are flaring up hardcore right now. When he got injured, they started losing. Jaime Jacques would have been a big star in San Antonio because he is of Hispanic heritage. It would have been a thing. But there's something to be said about getting a player and knowing what you got in them. The NBA right now is doing something where you draft on potential. Like you draft a raw player. You hear that about Jeremy Sohan, a raw player. And what do we get out of Sohan? We get a player who shows moments of brilliance and shows moments where he belongs in the G League. And there's nothing in between. Jeremy Sohan does not have that game where he's going to have an average game. He's either balling or he's doing nothing. And it's just so weird. It's absolutely so weird.
Drew says they snubbed none of those second-year players. Were made to play out of position for 30 games this season. Screwed by Pop once again.
I understand that, but you cannot make an argument in favor of Dyson Daniels. That's the thing, is that I understand that, Sohan is inconsistent. I understand all that, but Dyson Daniels isn't even in the same league performance-wise as Jeremy Sohan. So I got to defend Sohan when it comes to this. Now, if you're going to say Banchero versus Sohan, Banchero. If you're going to say J-Dub over him, Jabari Smith, Shaden Sharp, Keegan Murray, all those other players, I agree with. The Spurs got the number 9 draft pick in that pick a couple of years ago, and they got the 9th best player. Right? Were their players better afterwards? Well, yes, because Jalen Williams is showing that he's going to be a future all-star. Right? Jalen Williams is better than Jeremy Sohan. But we got the 9th best player with the number 9 pick. Dyson Daniels is not a top 10 player among the sophomores. He's just not. Chris Gonzalez, which is out right now, says Kyle Kuzma is on the trade block. I saw the same report, Chris, that reports are saying that they're not looking for 2 first-rounders, but they'll probably ask for a first-rounder. I don't believe that they're going to ask for just second-rounders for Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma looks good, man. And Kuzma gets dissed all the time because LeBron didn't want to play with him.
Hey, he might look good in a Spurs uniform. He's a veteran player at this point.
He's a veteran player. He knows how to score. Inconsistent, kind of a streaky guy, but, man, he can get you 22 to 25 every once in a while.
Give up one of those draft picks, the stock that they got. Brian Wright needs to do the right thing. Go after him.
Kyle Kuzma in his last 3 games, 26, 30, and 18. I mean, not bad. Averaging 21.9 on the year.
Hey,
32.9 from behind the arc.
This is an interesting stat too. I'm finding all sorts of little nuggets,
Yeah.
on Twitter, on
Nuggets.
the X. Clutch Sports, or Clutch Points, should I put?
Yeah.
They have a graphic right now where they're putting up 3 of the best coaches, or 3 good coaches, right? And they said, we took 3 of the most decorated active coaches and assembled a 5-man lineups of the best stars who've ever played for them.
Oh, I saw that.
That's interesting, dude. They have Gregg Popovich. It's a graphic of Gregg Popovich. Top 5 stars who have ever played for Gregg Popovich, Coach Pop. They have David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili,
Yeah.
Tony Parker. And then they show Doc Rivers for the Sixers there. And they have him with Joel Embiid. They have Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, James Harden, Chris Paul. I mean, because he's played for various teams, or coached various teams. But Spo, they have Eric Spoelstra there. And they have him with, of course, they have him with LeBron James, Jimmy Buckets. They have him with Dwayne Wade. And
the big 3 and Jimmy Buckets.
The big 3 and Jimmy Buckets, basically.
I like where you're going with this, because we can expand it even further.
Yeah.
If you had the top 5 players of every NBA team out there, the Spurs arguably would be one of the top 5 teams of all time.
Yeah.
Because who would our point guard be? Would be Hall of Famer Tony Parker. Our shooting guard would actually be Hall of Famer George Gervin. We'd have Kawhi Leonard. We'd have Tim Duncan and David Robinson. That starting 5 right there of all-time historic starting 5 is as big as any other team in the NBA. You might say that the Lakers would have Magic. They'd have LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, all of those, James Worthy. I would say the Lakers probably have the best 5 of all time. I'd say the Celtics arguably have the second 5, maybe the Bulls, but the Spurs are right up there. If you want to put the Spurs at 2, 3, 4, or 5 of all time, of all time greatest starting 5, using all players from all years, Spurs are up there. And that's so interesting to see, man, because, we're the small market team. We're not Chicago, who has Jordan and Pippen. We're not Boston. We're not LA. We're the San Antonio Spurs. And for us to be up there is actually very, very, very cool.
Yeah. And with Spo, they had, of course, the Chris Bosh, whose career was shortened due to, blood clots and whatnot. And, of course, Bam Adebayo as well. And as far as LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, and Dwayne Wade.
Pop has coached a lot of good players. And my argument against Pop right now has been the fact that he's never done a rebuild.
Never really. He's going through it right now, but can you really say at this point that the Spurs have really rebuilt this team if they're still losing?
They haven't done anything.
They really haven't, at this point, other than just draft poorly at that. They haven't really done anything worth a damn. Except for Keldon, that's probably panned out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else that maybe showed promise, they got rid of. They let him go. They waived them. And the only other prospect that's panned out beyond just, Keldon Johnson for them at this juncture has been Victor Wembanyama getting the number 1 overall pick.
That's the only thing that they've done right. And that's a 14% luck into it. I mean, dude, it's just so bizarre. And you look at the Spurs right now. 1 first-round draft pick this year that we know is going to be good somewhere in the top 6, more than likely. Top 7. You know that the Spurs might have that second pick next from Toronto this year. Spurs have potentially 3 first-rounders next year, maybe as many as 5 next year.
That's a lot, man.
Depending on how they convey.
You need to go ahead and make those picks attractive, as far as, hey, maybe we can, I don't know, package in a couple of picks plus a player and see what else we can get as far as a veteran player to help us get back to the winning ways, man.
Yeah, having the number of first-round draft picks, it sounds sexy.
But it's not.
It really isn't, because Spernandez and I were going back and forth about this on Twitter, because they were talking about a certain player like OG Anunoby, and they wanted to have 3 or 4 first-round picks for him. And he was like, no way, man. That's like 3 or 4 first rounders. And I'm like, I would happily trade Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, Lucas Samanic, and Lonnie Walker. I'd be happy to trade these players because those were all first rounders that the Spurs had.
Yeah. Where are they at now?
Where are they at now?
None of them with the team.
I would much rather know I have a star for a certain number of years than hope and pray that one develops over 5 or 6 years to become a star. It's not crazy to ask for 3 or 4 first rounders for these players because we don't know where they're going to be in the first round. Is it going to be a number 4 pick? Is it going to be a number 24 pick? Those are two completely different things.
Yeah. And then the other players that they've drafted or they've acquired was like Derek White, DeJounte Murray. Yeah. And they traded them away. They're no longer with the team. So it's like out of the new era Spurs that we have right now, which the team has not been very good, the only 2 picks that have really panned out have been Keldon Johnson and Victor Wembanyama.
Mario Cavazos says Spurs' best draft pick was trading George Hill to the Pacers for Kawhi Leonard. There's an article on ESPN Grantland back in the day. You can Google it. It's called The Anatomy of the Trade. And it breaks down how the Spurs got Kawhi Leonard that day. It's great. It's a great read. Kawhi Leonard in the final mock drafts that were out was projected to go number 5 or 6 in the draft. Spurs got him at 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the Spurs had it in place that they wanted to trade George Hill if their guy was there. And when it was time for Indiana to pick, they looked at the Spurs and said, "Is your guy there?" And they said, "Yep." And they all knew it was Kawhi. But they already had the deal in place to make it happen.
Yeah.
And Kawhi was still there on the board. And Indiana honored the trade. If I was Indiana, I would have been like, screw you guys. But Indiana didn't need him. They had Paul George, I believe, at the time. So it's kind of interesting how that happens. But it's called The Anatomy of the Trade. Vane Stain says, if DeJounte Murray and Derek White were here, we wouldn't have ever had the chance to draft Wemby. I get okay, true. This is the argument that 2 things can be true. Yeah, if DeJounte and Derek White were here, we wouldn't have sucked so bad to the point where we'd have a chance to win the number 1 overall pick with a 14% chance.
But there's a good chance they would have been a 500 or less team.
There's a good chance of that also. But you don't get to give credit to Brian Wright for lucking into Victor Wembanyama. That didn't show any fucking skill whatsoever.
Just tanked.
The Spurs tanked, had a 14% chance of landing that dude, and got it. Do you know what the odds of 14% are? 14%. If you play cards, is like getting that 14% is kind of like hitting an open-ended straight. 14% is like having pocket kings and beating pocket aces. It doesn't happen. It very rarely happens. I mean, it happens every once in a while, but we shouldn't expect it to happen. A 14% chance. Think about it this way. Pitchers in baseball suck at batting, right? Unless you're Ohtani, right? Pitchers in baseball suck at batting. They bat about 120, 130, 140. And every time we see them go up to the plate, we think to ourselves, what? Well, there's an out.
Yep. Swing and a miss.
Yes. The odds of the Spurs landing Wemby was the same as this crappy-ass pitcher of the National League getting a single.
Yeah.
Okay? You do not get to give Brian Wright credit for that. He does not get to round the bases and say, I did my job. I got Wemby. Bullshit. The ping pong balls went your way.
And they said they had already done several scenarios, before they actually do the official. And every one of those, the Spurs didn't get that number 1 pick. It's when they finally decided to go ahead and say, all right, this time it's for real. We're going to do the lottery. Wherever the ping pong balls will fall, this is what's going to happen. And lo and behold, it was the Spurs that lucked out because they didn't get the first pick in any of the other 3 trial runs that they did. The Spurs did not get that pick until they actually did the real one.
The real one. And the funny thing about the real one is that they pick the ball gets sucked into the thing like every 15 seconds or so. So what ends up happening is that teams know the combinations of the winning numbers that they have. And when it got down to the final 2 balls, every single team was still alive. It was so weird because you said that usually within the first few balls of the lottery, it knocks them all out. When it got down to the last ball, There were 11 combinations available. Spurs had, I believe, 2 of those 11 combinations. The Washington Wizards had 6.
Yeah.
The Wizards had a 6 in 11 chance of getting it on the final ping pong ball. That's crazy. Matt Lerma says 14% is beating pocket aces by getting a 3 of a kind on the river card. That's basically it. Yeah, I was trying to do the pot odds in my head.
The analogy.
But I have so much congestion going on right now that it's not coming through. I'm barely able to think right now.
Yeah, look at Matt Lerma's right too. You were just saying the same thing. We were one ping pong ball away from Wemby going to the Wizards.
They were 6 in 11 chance, man. 6 in 11 chance. NYSL Hooper says, I'm so glad we won the real draft lottery for Vic and not the rehearsal draft like we did that Bancaro year.
And you know what? The Spurs are tanking again this season. And you know what? Bleacher Report just went ahead and put this out. The NBA and the NBPA have now finalized plans to make the NBA draft 2 days per Adrian Wojnarowski. Ain't nobody going to watch the second round, dude.
No.
I promise you.
Not at all.
After they get out of 10, 1 through 10, what happens? Viewership goes down because everybody's dipping out.
Hey, look, Jerry Jones is talking out of his ass again. He's coming out saying that if things don't work out with Mike McCarthy this year, he might have to go get Bill Belichick because we're friends, he says.
You think Bill wants to come and play for the Cowboys? Come on, man.
Well, okay, let's talk a little bit more about the Cowboys because Belichick is available, and the jobs that he was expected to be a front runner for have been filled.
Yeah.
So the odds of him coaching this year are nothing, which is fine because I think Belichick needs to have that time off, decompress, get motivated again.
I think he just got out of a relationship too.
Yeah, man, go
soil your loins, Bill.
Go get some strays, man. Catch some strays.
Hey, man, Bill can pull some women. Dude.
I bet you can.
They showed his ex. I was like, she ain't nothing to bat your eyes at, dude. Like she's hot. Like wow, like Bill, you dirty old dog, Bill.
So there are 2 teams that need a head coach right now: Seattle Seahawks, which moved away from Pete Carroll, and the Washington Commanders, who are reportedly interested in Dan Quinn, who's had multiple interviews over there. Would you be okay as a Cowboy fan if Dan Quinn up and left?
I'd be fine with that, dude.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Because hopefully this will make this team so fucking bad that they're going to be forced to do something. You know what? I'm done with the Cowboys already, quite honestly. Like, whatever happens to them, it's going to happen to them. This coming season, they're going to be my Sancha team.
Oh, they got demoted?
They got demoted,
from favorite
dude.
team to
Fuck
Sancha.
them, dude.
Who's the favorite team now?
I don't know. Me and my dad are talking about that. We're trying to see where our allegiance is going to lie this year. So the Cowboys, we're still going to be fans, but they're going to be our Sancha team.
I think that we should have odds on Twitter about this because I think the favorite right now, the Houston Texans. Keep it in Texas.
I kind of thought about that too.
CJ Stroud.
And I'll be honest with you. The Texans are attractive to me only because a lot of the Texans gear, I know where it's at, and it can be had for cheap.
Yes.
Burlington Coat Factory right here on 1604. There's always a surplus of jerseys, T-shirts, hats, you name it, Texans gear. Nobody buys it. I'm like, maybe it's time.
Well, other candidates out there could be New Orleans because of proximity. We could both cheer for the Saints.
I don't know if I could.
Who dat?
I don't know.
You could go for the Atlanta Falcons because they have Bijan Robinson.
I'll never ever root for the freaking Falcons.
Dirty Bird, baby. Dirty Bird.
No, bro. Rudy Campos Jr., that's his team.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him, man, because, we always give him flack because they went to the Super Bowl and choked. Ever since that's been one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, I don't root for that.
So who do you all think Joe should be rooting for next year? If he's dumping the Cowboys.
Dumping them, dude. Sancha team.
So, Sancha rules state, and I'm the one who created the Sancha rules. It has to be opposite conference. So it has to be an AFC team.
Yeah, gladly.
So therefore, it's either the Houston Texans, but you don't want to be part of a bandwagon.
No.
I think it should be a team that didn't make the playoffs last year or this year. So maybe the Bengals, they didn't make the playoffs. What about a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars?
No,
Got Trevor Lawrence, baby.
no, they don't do nothing for me, dude.
Just call it the Texans, man. Make it a day.
Well, we'll see, man. Let's see what me and Pops decide, dude.
Have you seen the Houston Texans schedule for next year?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the schedule.
I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. They are not making the playoffs next year, no matter how good CJ Stroud is. That schedule next year is fucking brutal. Okay, check this out. At Green Bay to start the year, home against the Colts, home against the Jaguars, home against the Titans. They got some divisional games there. They've got the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Lions, the Bears, the Colts again, the Jaguars again, the Vikings, the Patriots, the Jets, the Titans, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Chiefs.
Jeez. You know what? I'm with Matt Lerma on this one, too. He says, I'm all in on the UFL Brahmas.
No, man. I ain't cheering for the Brahmas.
Come
You
on,
will never find me at one
Mike.
of those games, dude.
Mike.
They don't live here.
No,
They don't
bro.
practice here.
Come
Dude, they
on.
practice in Dallas. Then they fly to San Antonio. They play a game, and then they get out of town. It's not a San Antonio team.
But yet you're going to be at the tailgate. I'll
No,
bet you
I'm
anything.
not tailgating UFL.
Come on, man.
I don't do minor league football.
You know what,
dude.
Matt? We'll have to round up the troops, bro, and go to a UFL game this season without Mike. We'll go have some fun.
XX Mello 15 says you should join the Bills Mafia. That is a good.
I had an
choice.
invitation already because I had put this out
Yeah.
on the X, and somebody says, "Why don't you have an open invitation to join the Bills Mafia?" I got to tell you, dude, I like the Bills style, bro. I like going. I want to go through the table.
Yeah,
Put it on fire and let me go through the table.
and have that big old pot. What was that?
That
Jason
looks like
Kelce-
a bowling ball almost that you pick up and you just take a shot out of it. Hey, man, the Bills Mafia, they're my people.
You know
bro.
what? I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
I might just have to do that, dude. They're in a totally different conference.
Yes,
You know, there's no
they qualify.
they qualify.
And they've never won a Super Bowl, so you can't say that you're jumping on board on anything.
A bandwagon.
Mario Cavazza says Spurs getting Wemby was fixed, just like Johnny Moore getting his jersey retired because of Mike.
Bro, Jeff Garcia was on one yesterday. He was like the guy that was leading up the charge about all the tall tales about you.
Yeah,
It was hilarious, dude. I was having a lot of fun reading them.
my sister believes in me though. She was telling me the
Oh,
other day. She
man.
goes, "I know all those tall tales because she was there. Me telling her these things back in the '90s and early 2000s. I was there, baby. I was there." Someone made fun of the fact that I said that I was at a terrorist attack back in the day.
Oh God.
The answer was I was.
What?
I was at a terrorist attack within minutes of being there. 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta. I was there with Steve Spreester at KSAT. There was the bombing at the Centennial Park.
I remember that.
We were eating across the street
yeah.
from Centennial Park. We made our way back towards the park because people were running away, and we were running towards the scene because we were trying to get footage. That is not a lie. That is not a lie. I'm not saying that I was in the park earlier in the day. That AT&T display that they had. By the way, the movie Jewel about Richard Jewell was really good.
Really?
I was there. Now, we had left to go to dinner by the time that explosion happened, but we were there. Tall tale or not.
I like this idea over here by Matt Lerma right here. He was
Yeah.
saying we'll do a vlog or a log of some kind, a blog, you know, of the game day over at the USFL game with the Brahmas. I'm down for that, man.
Dude, minor league football, dude. Come on, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to go, dude. I'm going to go. I'm going to go and I'm going to support the team. I'm going to get behind them. It's going to be fun, dude. Be out there with the gente, man. Be out there hanging with the raza. I might get Fernandez to come out here, dude. We'll be fucked up before we even set foot in the Alamo Dome.
If Fernandez is there drinking, I'll go. I'll go.
Man.
Do we have an entertainment bump?
We do, dude. I'll put it
Let's
on
do it
for
real
you.
fast. Another female celebrity is complaining about, in entertainment news, and a female celebrity, again, complaining about dating apps. Show my screen.
Getting catfish, man.
This just
Damn.
dropped right now. Terry Hatcher
No.
on TMZ.com says, I got kicked off a dating app because they thought I was fake. Now, remember Terry Hatcher? She was big in the 90s. She was in that Superman
She's
TV
still
show.
cute, dude.
Wasn't she on
Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois?
Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives.
She came out. She made a
The
cameo
cameo on
appearance on Seinfeld.
They're real and spectacular. They're real and they're spectacular.
That's when they send Elaine inside the shower.
The shower. So TMZ says, quote, Terry Hatcher's not going to find love on Tinder or anything like it because she's done with online dating because the platforms keep kicking her off. The former Bond girl, that's right, she was a Bond girl, the former sex symbol in the 90s, opened up about her unceremonious exits from the dating app world during an appearance on Getting Grilled with Curtis Stone. She said that she was on Hinge trying to find a good man. Look at her these days.
I'm telling you, dude, she's still good, dude.
Nugget.
Go. Hey, maybe you should make a play, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're real still, and I'm sure they're spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is going on here? It says images of Terry Hatcher. Oh, she's looking a lot older than what she did back in the day, but still hot.
Hey, man,
still
she's
hot.
Cute, dude. What's wrong with her?
Still hot.
She still looks this good now. She's gonna be hot forever, dude.
Terry Hatcher, looking for love in all the wrong places.
You know, maybe she wants somebody that's fluffy, dude. Keep her warm.
You know, the whole dad bod thing is interesting because I weighed myself this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm back to being the lowest I've been in over a year. And I just can't break through the plateau. But I am more determined than ever over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks to get down another 2 or 3 more pounds so I can break past that little plateau that I have. I keep hitting this pound, this weight, and I bounce back up a few pounds and then meander. Then I come back and I hit it again, and then I bounce back up a little bit. I have to break through that floor, and I can't figure out what's going wrong.
Man, just go to one of these other places. I mean, I think Mike Taylor's gone to one of these places before where you just go and get the laser and you get zapped a couple pounds off of you.
Oh, that's just weird.
Hey, man, ask Taylor about it. He did that, dude. He got some pounds zapped off of him.
Dude, I referee a lot, man. And I'm probably retaining water from all the soreness because yesterday was
just
awful.
Talk with Taylor. Tell him how was the experience getting some of the fat zapped off of you, bro. You just sit down. It looks like it's a good time, bro. You're just sitting down on the table.
Yeah.
They put that little laser thing on you. They put the sunglasses on you. You could probably listen to some music or something.
Now, people are reaching out to us on YouTube right now saying, you know, I should just do all protein. I've done that before. I've done keto. Keto, it works, man. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight over a 2-week to 1 month period, it truly does work. But it's so hard to keep up with. I know Mike Baez from Bear County Social Apparel is on keto. He's been doing keto for years. There's just so much good food out there, man. I can't do it, baby. There's moderation when it comes to things. I understand it's all about moderation and working out. But the idea of doing keto all day long, I did it for like 2 months.
Not appealing?
Not appealing at all.
Add a ton of flaxseed to your shakes and food. Just poop.
Just poop.
Bro, if you do that, you might as well just stay on the toilet all day. It's going to be a rough ride.
Do you ever use a squatty potty?
No, I don't think I've ever had to.
I used a squatty potty for the first time last year.
Where?
My future ex-wife brought one home, and that's one of the things she left behind. And I was in the restroom the other day, and I looked over to the side, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And it was the squatty potty. I tried it. That shit works, man. Do you know what it does?
No.
Okay. So you're sitting down and pretend this is a toilet, right?
Yeah.
This is an unnatural way to shit. We've been conditioned to sit on a toilet this way. It is unnatural because where does the shit come from? It comes from right here, right?
Yeah.
But it's doing an L, so it's like a pipe. It's coming down.
Oh, God,
and it curls
bro.
out, and it hurts. Do you ever try to pinch a loaf a little bit and like you're like ugh,
Oh,
and it just doesn't come out?
Bro, you make things so freaking weird, bro.
A squatty potty is simply just a step that's maybe about 1.5 feet tall.
Oh, God.
And what you do is you rest your feet on it so that instead of shitting like this where you're sitting down,
show us.
your patas are up a little bit. And what ends up happening is the way that you're angled and your feet are up, it's like a water slide for your fucking mierda to come out, dude.
So the squatting position is the way you want to go.
Well,
Yeah.
ultimately, yes.
Hey, that's how they do things over there. I think it's over in the Middle East. They have those, and over in I think China or something. They have the little squatty potties on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like drunk girls at concerts, they can't
Oh,
find it
dude.
and they squat down. It's natural that way. That's the actual natural position. But the squatty potty lifts your feet up, or it's a step.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that the tunnel by which your shit comes out goes from an L to like a slide. And I tell you, dude, within 3 seconds, it just gushes out. It works.
Oh God, bro.
So what I want you to do next time that you're taking a crap, lift your legs up a little bit.
Oh man, you're not kidding, Matt Lerma. He says, laugh out loud. This took a turn. It took. I don't know where this is going.
This
bro.
was a crappy conversation.
That's how the caveman did it.
That's how the caveman did it.
That reminds me of freaking Taylor too. Love that story of this when we had him here in the studio.
Yeah,
where he had that DNA test done.
He's partial Neanderthal.
Partial Neanderthal.
Dude, every time I say the word Neanderthal, I think of him.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I remember we asked him about it. He's like, yeah, dude, I did the DNA test and I had more Neanderthal DNA in me than a normal person.
That's funny. Well, now I know what I'm gonna do for lunch today.
What you gonna do?
So we're gonna take off right now, but for lunch, dude, no lie, that little cafeteria they got at HEB over here on Petrenko and 1604.
Yeah, the Flamin' Bird.
The Flamin' Bird.
Yeah. Hey,
dude, they've got a stuffed baked potato.
Mm-hmm.
Right, baked potato covered with the chives and the butter and the sour cream,
pico
with pico and grilled chicken on top.
I'm telling you, that's my go-to, bro.
$7.
Good.
And it's amazing. It's
so
filling.
Fucking
it's
good.
$7.
You put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Put a little butter on that bitch, and then you just put that sour cream on top, bro. You eat that, you're full for the whole day.
I know.
It just sticks to you, man.
Because I need the carbs because I referee tonight.
Yeah, it'll just stick with you, dude.
I referee tonight. Where am I refereeing tonight? Let's see here. The schedule says that I referee over at Taft High School today.
Oh my God. Edwin Ortiz, I'm afraid to go back to the bathroom now.
You know what? All these people who are watching this right now are going to do the exact same thing. They're all going to go take a shit, and then they're going to lift their legs up, and they're going to see how easy it was. You don't necessarily need the squatty potty. All you got to do is just lift your legs up a little bit.
And look at that. Vane Stain said in Middle East, the toilet's just a hole in the ground. Hey, man, basically.
Yeah, Mark Cuban said on the Shark Tank, you can just use telephone books.
Phone books, bro.
It's the exact same. Dude, okay. You see right next to you there, you have that bucket right there?
Yeah. That bucket.
If you took that bucket into the restroom,
yeah,
and while you're taking a dump, put that bucket in front of the toilet and just rested your feet on top of it, like you're sitting up on it. Dude, just gushes out, man.
Damn, Mike. TMI, man.
Well, this just kind of
I'm gonna have to tell Jeff, bro, your guy's wild, man, bro. You gotta watch this. Mike is wild. I'm gonna tell him, take a look at this. I'm gonna say, look at the end of the show. Just listen.
You can tell us to?
Huh?
You can tell us to?
Jeff.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna tell Jeff. Just listen, dude. The show took a turn at the end.
Yeah, Jeff hasn't given me shit today about it, so he's probably not listening.
I'm gonna tell him, listen to the last 2 minutes of the show. It was a real shitty take.
Well, fellas, this has been fun. I got to get back to work. Everyone have a fantastic day. What is today? Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday,
Hump day.
Friday.
Hump day. Got to get back to work, baby.
Yeah.
Everyone have a good day. Go Spurs go tonight against the Orlando Magic. Again, the NBA All-Star reserves announced tonight. We'll see who makes it. Wemby, slim chance, probably won't happen, but let's see if he gets a replacement spot. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later, boys.